Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al from easymedicaldevice.com, and today we will talk about the one pathway, if I can say, one way to go to the US, which is called the Breakthrough Device Program. So this is mainly something that is really interesting because for new technologies, for things that are really important that can need really to be on the market, there is really this way to go. We don't have that in Europe for the moment. I hope they will be also having these kind of things. I think they are working on that in the UK or some other regions, but mainly, yeah, this is what we see now in the US, and this is mainly something that we'll be trying to discuss about. And for that, I have with me Michelle Lott. So it's been a long time that she hasn't been on the podcast. So hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Hi, Monier. Thanks for having me back.
Great. Can we have just a small introduction of yourself, and then we can go through this passionate topic about Breakthrough Device Program?
Sure. So I own leanRAQA. I'm the principal and founder, and we've helped over 100 different companies, startups and small size, bring their products to market from early stage ideas all the way into commercialization and maintaining their quality management system. So, and a full life cycle approach.
Exactly. And if you need anything for US market, she's the one to go and to request. Yeah, really helpful. So thanks for that. Thanks for being here also to walk us through this breakthrough device program. So mainly for beginners that have no clue what we are talking about, can we just have a small explanation of what is this FDA breakthrough device program?
Yep. So the Breakthrough Device Program was actually spawned from an earlier program called the Expedited Access Program. And the purpose was to bring products to market, specifically where something could be life-threatening, life-sustaining, and result in lifelong debilitation. And so the purpose was to provide access to where companies could bring those products to market in a more efficient way.
So this means this is something that is not for all companies. So there are, it's like a selection. We have to select them. It's not like just everybody can go through this kind of program.
Yep, exactly. And what's interesting is that the FDA, I feel like, had a lot of companies apply for the breakthrough designation that they felt like didn't meet that bar of, life-threatening or permanently debilitating. So in, I believe it was 2022, they started the Safer Technologies or STEP program to be kind of like in parallel with the breakthrough device. So if you don't meet that high bar of the life supporting or life and debilitating, life threatening and debilitating, then you can go through the safer technologies where it is you're making a significant improvement in safety or alternative procedures or usability. There are a number of criteria that aren't quite as rigorous for the Safer Technologies program.
So now, if we are a company that, if some companies are listening and say, "Oh, let me go to this breakthrough device program," so what are the steps that they should go through mainly for first finding out if they are eligible and then being able to apply for it and yeah, and we look there just after about what are maybe the benefits also for them of being part of this kind of program.
Yeah. Well, it's really important. The two factors is first that you have to actually prove that the condition is life-threatening or permanently debilitating. And that's kind of a high bar. Most people are making assumptions that it's obvious that whatever their device is intended to treat is it's like going to be obvious that it's life threatening or debilitating, and it's not. And you have to make the actual case with clinical literature, patient advocacy groups, and there are a couple of different factors that you have to use to prove that. And then you also need so as companies tend to apply for this when they're kind of earlier in the ideation stage. And so the FDA wants to see that, oh no, this is an actual real technology that can be reasonably commercialized soon, not kind of in I think this is a good idea
So,
stage.
so you think, yeah, do you have, I mean, have you heard about some companies that even when they have not finalized to design or not designed at all the products, just had the idea, are submitting this request to the FDA just to see if they can be part of it?
Unearth the pulse of the medtech world with MedTech Conf, a dynamic platform featuring global events on medical devices, biologicals, IVD, and pharmaceuticals. Stay informed, stay ahead, connect, share, and elevate your knowledge. Become an official sponsor. Make your event shine on the map. MedTech Conf, your key to the medtech universe. Remember, the future is now, and it's at your fingertips with MedTech Conf.
Yes, I have. I've seen several companies because they've convinced themselves that it's obvious that they should be part of it. So they think the FDA is going to be excited and kind of jump on that bandwagon. But and I think you've heard me say this before, the FDA doesn't necessarily believe in the transitive property of math. You know, like if A equals B, B equals C, then A equals C. No, like you have to show all your work. So you've got to show your work between uh, that that not only prove that condition meets the criteria that high criteria, but that also you have a real device and you have some sort of data to suggest that you will be efficient at treating that.
So
Does that make sense?
having some data showing that the product is existing or you have already some prototype, showing that we have already some maybe literatures or clinical information, showing,
Mhm.
as you mentioned, the patients that are really asking for such technology because it's really helpful for them. So these are really the things that we have to collect and to prove them to the FDA before we are submitting that to them.
And some benchtop testing
Okay.
and maybe early animal, studies that suggest efficacy. So,
Okay.
mhm.
Okay, so this is mainly something that I hope, yeah, people will be investigating and checking. But now, if I can say, we usually when we are going to the FDA, we are thinking of 510K or PMA or de novo, etc. So mainly here, is it another way to go? Or we have still to go through these pathways? What is mainly the benefit of saying, I want, I mean, because everybody wants apparently to be on this. So what is the benefit for people to say, I want really to be on this kind of program?
So what's important to know about both the breakthrough and the STEP program is that they are types of pre-submissions. So a way to early communicate with the FDA. But if you get designated into either of those programs, you still have to go through the normal submission path that you would have gone through without receiving those designations. So be it 510K, PMA, it's not like that the breakthrough or the step are an alternative to the submission. So in theory, the benefit is supposed to be that you get more and maybe less formal conversations with the FDA. Maybe in clinical data, they will negotiate endpoints, and that they're kind of partner with you to, okay, what do we need to see? What does the FDA need to see to more efficiently and more quickly, bring your product to market? And
So
so those communications.
So it's really, it's why I was really excited when to present that. It's really like you have a team that helps you to move forward, but this team that is helping you is the team also that will approve your products at the end, if I can say so. It's really like a win-win for
Right.
I suppose for FDA because many
Yes.
having those products on the market is important, but a win for the company that is really getting support from the people that are really reviewing everything.
Right, right. And one of the benefits of getting through either of these programs is that at the end of them, the FDA will send out a press release that says, hey, look what we, FDA, did. We partnered with, company X, and we together brought this novel technology to do X, Y, and Z to the market. And so they take a little bit of the credit of getting it to market
So
as well.
And the company gets credit saying FDA promotes
Yep.
also our technology, which is mainly a great thing. So when we say we have some support from them or they are helping men, so is it like with like continuously, or it's like in a certain checkpoint of the project, or how we can see that?
When you apply for the designation, you have to specify what type of communication or benefit that you're looking for. And there are about 4 different options for that include sprint discussions, clinical protocol agreements, more pre-submissions, like more efficient and formal versions of pre-submissions. So there are a couple of different aspects that companies can take advantage of that they feel will be the best benefit for their project.
But they have to decide before, or how is it working? So it's like when you are applying, you say, I want this, or you can say, I will look at that later after I got designated.
You generally specify it during, like, in the submission, and then FDA agrees to supporting you in that way.
Okay. I just asking because mainly as we said, we have multiple way of communication. Maybe we want to discuss about 2 different things out of the 4 5. So mainly, is it like you have to apply for each type of communication, or it's like you say, no, I want to have this discussion with these two elements, or I mean, how people should be preparing for that?
Yes, so you pick the ones that you want, and it doesn't mean that FDA won't engage you
Okay.
necessarily in the other ways, but that's where they know where and what type of resources they should that on their end that they need to plan on dedicating. Because if you want a clinical protocol agreement, that might be a different set of FDA internal people than a sprint discussion or a data development plan.
And I suppose that the interaction will be more like I am presenting my situation and my case and my strategy and what I plan to do, and you say to me if it's fine or not. I don't think it's like a consulting thing where they tell you you should do this and you should do that. Correct? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Correct. Yeah, the FDA is never going to come to you and tell you what to do. They're waiting, they expect you to be the product expert and you to tell them, and then they agree or not.
okay, great. So I suppose also that this will really accelerate
Mhm.
your progress for the products to be on the market. So is it the objective of this breakthrough device program to have a chance to have those products on the market quickly?
That is the theory. That is the whole purpose of both programs, is to bring those products to market quicker than they may have otherwise. However, I have had experience where people have gotten it and then the FDA never actually had another meeting with them or didn't respond for a year for one reason or the other. So it's been a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of experiences of did it actually make a difference or not. But at the end of the day, if you make it all the way through, whether it helps you get there faster or not, you get that benefit of that press release where FDA and your name are, together. So
And so we talk mainly about benefits here. So is there any challenges, criticism maybe about the program? So since when the program is existing now again?
so the expedited access started in about 2015,
Okay.
but it was like it was utilized very not very often, very infrequently. And about between 2018 and 2019, the FDA started the breakthrough program, and then that became a little bit more popular, I guess. And then around 2022 is when they added in that Safer Technologies program.
So we have, if
And
I can say, some experience, I suppose, now with this or some feedback. So any challenges, criticism that you see or you hear about? Hey, just a second. Do you need a EU, Swiss or UK representative? Then choose Easy Medical Device. We can represent you and also become your importer. Contact us at eo@easymedicaldevice.com.
Everybody's super excited that because everybody thinks their device is the next best thing.
Yeah.
And so everybody wants to apply for the breakthrough and step, and they think that it's like, um, going to be a shoe-in or that FDA just hands these out. But over the entire life of the program, including the expedited access back to 2015, there's only been 1,041 designations total.
Okay.
And of those, only 128 have made it all the way to some sort of marketing authorization. So you're looking at only about 12% of the devices that get designated. And we have no data on how many designations, well, just recently, the FDA has started tracking. And so I'm like looking at some data from last year, from 2024, and they gave 42 authorizations for the year, or no, they granted 156, and of 156, only 42 made it to market.
So is
Wow.
there, are they making, I suppose now they will maybe start to make some statistics, but is there, what we like to hear usually is what was the reason for maybe failing, or what was the main concern that we had for some manufacturers? So do we have those data to understand maybe how we can improve our application?
We don't have any data from FDA as to why they have or have not accepted or rejected designations, but from personal experience is that lack of substantiation of either the condition meets the criteria or that the device is like a real, working device that can be reasonably commercialized in a
Okay.
short period of time.
Um, any other criticism or any other thing that common mistakes maybe that people are hearing, or that you are experiencing?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up is that, be very objective about your device and what it does, who it does it for. And yeah, I would even have like a third party where their job was almost to be a devil's advocate
Yeah.
for that to really challenge how you're supporting and substantiating that. And then just, the reality of what the statistics are and, um, is like, go for it. It's great if you get it, but if you don't get it, it's not a problem necessarily of who wrote it or that it wasn't well written. It just didn't meet their expectations, which are fairly high over the life of the program.
So, in terms of products themselves, do we have like some examples of products that made it, or some products that, or types of products that maybe are really matching with those requirements? Is there any trend of like this type of products? Yes, they always accept them, or they are looking for them always.
Yep. So one thing that's kind of interesting is that, even Elon Musk has applied for the Breakthrough Device
Okay.
Program, and his device made it, has been implanted, and I think two people now that
Okay.
have had good luck restoring their sight. So it's like a chip that goes in your brain, and it where people don't have lost their vision and their damage to the optic nerve, and it's been able to help restore their vision. So we'll see. Both of those people were in pretty bad shape, pretty bad accidents, and have a lot of worse problems than just their vision. So but other than that, like if you want to look at the types of devices that the FDA is clearing through the breakthrough, number one by far is cardiovascular, then
Okay.
neurology, orthopedic, and then it just starts falling off pretty quickly after that. So those are the top three areas that the FDA is authorizing these.
So we said also that, as we said before, so even if we go through the breakthrough, you still have to go through the PMA and 510K and everything. So you have still to, if I can say, get through these, get through also the fees for these. Is there any fee for a breakthrough device program, or it's not? No, it's completely free of charge.
It is free of charge because it's part of the pre-submission process. So, all of the pre-submission, the breakthrough, the step, there are a few other types of communications that before you go into submission are free of charge. And this is nice because they are pre-submissions, all of them have clock, the FDA clock days for review tied to them, like the goals, like 60, 75 days. And so they do get reviewed in that period of time,
Okay,
pretty
so
consistently, even though
so
they're not getting paid.
so it's good because yeah, in comparison to notified bodies, they are paid, but there is no consistent time. They can
Exactly.
wait 1 year for before reviewing anything that you have provided to them, which is a great thing. Okay, so maybe one last thing about those people that are helping you. If you are, for example, because you mentioned some fields like neurology or like cardiovascular or like orthopedic, etc. I suppose that the people that will help you are specialized in those areas. So it's really people that are expert in the type of products that you have, maybe not your product, but the type of products that you have, or they are really generalists.
No, I think it's going to be really important for people to have key opinion leaders on board. And, ideally, even patient groups that are going to advocate for, that product to come to market because FDA is listening more and more to patient preference and what they are willing to tolerate in terms of risk in devices, but also in terms of trying new and novel technologies. Yeah.
Okay, so mainly, yeah, this is, as we said, something that is really important to go through. I mean, for companies that really want to go to the US. So just to ask for it, is there a specific way that I can go for apply for this? So is there like an email I should send or a form to fill, or what is exactly the way that they are expecting you to send this application?
So for both the breakthrough and the step, there are specific guidance documents that explain each criteria in detail and give examples of the type of evidence to support them and the kind of recommended format. And then other than that, they go through the standard, pre-submission process where you would upload them to the collaboration portal, and then they go through that normal cycle, just like a pre-submission would.
Is there maybe I don't know if you know about this, but is there like a timing where you say when I apply, they should answer to me by this day, or there is no timing at all?
Yep, because they're pre-submissions, they are on that about 60 days for if you do written feedback and 75 if you request a meeting. So you will hear back in that period of time.
Okay, great. Any final advice or final tips or final yeah, comment to provide for people that are maybe thinking now of going through this?
Mhm. So, definitely don't want to discourage anybody from applying for it, but just, don't have your rose-colored glasses on. Understand what types of products are getting cleared, what the actual statistics are, and really be thoughtful in making your case. And that is that, that they don't just hand out these designations as much as people think they do.
Yeah, and for the last question, maybe why people should contact you? So maybe should they contact you for this breakthrough device program to help them?
Yeah, so I did mention, third party experts to challenge, so not only can we help, draft and prepare your submissions, but we can also help prepare your arguments for them and, make them more robust and kind of be that objective devil's advocate for this process.
Okay. Any other thing that maybe people should contact you for?
Yes, so you can contact me for any of your pre-market needs, any type of submissions, 510Ks, de novos, PMAs, or if you need help after you've commercialized and either setting up your quality management system or managing it. We do fractional quality as well.
Great. So thank you, Michelle, for that. I will put anyway your contact details on the show notes with your page. I also put on the show notes the Breakthrough Device Program guidance from the FDA, so for people that just to get that and to read it also, because there are a lot of really information that are maybe important for you. And if you have any questions, as I said, I put the links of the LinkedIn link of Michelle, so don't hesitate to follow her. You have some great posts also that you are doing there with funny, so thank you for that. So don't hesitate to go to LinkedIn to follow Michelle Lott and to ask any question that you have. So thank you, Michelle. It was really a pleasure. I hope this will be helping a lot of people. And yeah, I hope to see you for another type of FDA again discussion. Thanks, Michelle. Have a nice day.
Yep. Always enjoy you, Munir. Bye-bye.